Welcome to SRG Insights, where we answer your questions about sales, sales management, and sales training. And today's question is...
Jeet Vadher asks, what should be the sub-goals to achieve revenue goals?
That's a great question. What I really like about this question is it gets to the distinction between results and behaviors. So think about your revenue goal as a result, and think about the activities that drive that result as the sub-goals, to use your terminology. So I think what happens in a lot of organizations is that they're very results-oriented. And there's nothing wrong with being results-oriented, but the thing to think about is results are inherently backwards-looking. So there's something you can monitor, but not necessarily manage. So let's take the result. Let's say the result is new account acquisition. What you want to think about are what are the key activities that correspond and align with your goal. And those could be things like prospecting for new business. An area we're seeing a lot of interest in right now is pre-call research and planning, so that you're actually prepared for sales calls. They're not that easy to get. Thinking about mapping organizations, who are the key decision makers and influencers, putting together territory plans. And I think the reason that new account acquisition is getting so much attention, just to deviate for a minute, is because so many salespeople and so many sales organizations are overly reliant on too few customers. So when you think about the result, think about that as being a goal. Think about the activities as the specific activities salespeople need to engage in to achieve that goal. And so we use a 4-step framework in our new book, The High Impact Sales Manager, where managers begin by communicating expectations. And the important thing to remember here is that you want to communicate your expectation both in terms of the result you want to achieve, and also communicate expectations around the activity levels that you think align with that result. The next thing you want to do is to monitor results. And I use the word monitor because results can't be managed. They're inherently backwards looking, but it's really important to understand where you stand. And then the third area is to monitor and manage behaviors. So those behaviors are the activities that you're looking at. In other words, is there enough prospecting activity? Is there a good job of pre-call research and planning going on? Those are things you could visually observe and actually inspect in your one-on-one meetings, and then provide regular feedback. And I think this is another area where there's significant room for improvement. If you wait to the end of the quarter, it's too late to provide that feedback. If you're engaging in weekly one-on-ones, you can review quickly what the results are, and then take a look at the underlying behaviors. Obviously, provide positive feedback if those activities are running ahead of plan, and certainly look for areas to course correct if those activities are running below plan. So again, I really like the question. I think you're hitting on a very important point of results. Again, those results are what you want to achieve. The behaviors or the sub-goals that drive those results, those are the activities that you need to engage in, and making sure that you're using weekly one-on-ones to really meet with your salespeople and make sure they're staying on track. Thank you very much for your question. Good luck and good selling.